Political libertarians, status light, right? I mean, you can talk to them to a certain degree. Pretty much like all religious people. You can talk to them to a certain degree as long as everything you espouse fits in their narrowly defined narrative that they propagate, right? But as soon as you step outside the bounds of their mystical ideology, they'll lash out on you at you as like every other dogmatist, right? This is in reference to, in Canada, we have a Libertarian Party of Canada, which, like I say, it's such an oxymoron to have a libertarian political party. Because if you actually understand the philosophical principles of not just private property, like that I own myself, right? If you understand logic and reason and like the non-aggression principle and all that stuff, like I say, the basic philosophical principles espoused of libertarianism, if you understand that, most people that even have delve into this stuff realize it's usually only 6 months before you kind of realize that, yeah, you can't be what some people call big L or political libertarians, because it's a complete contradiction, right? If you reject using force and coercion, mysticism as a means to an end, you can't say, but I'll use it for this little bit, right? No, you either accept it universally or you don't. So you're either a true libertarian, anarchist, voluntarist, right? Critical thinker, or you're not. Political libertarians are, once again, people that they think that they can limit the deity somehow, or their deity, the mystical concept, the deity that they try to espouse in the political sphere, which, as we know, it's an impossibility, right? But anyways, Libertarian Canada is the page. Anyways, Blaine Bilosser Kovek Bilosirkovic. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. But anyways, turns out that they created this page and it says, "Welcome to." Now, I understand that there are political libertarians that try to circle that square peg, right? I mean, just like every other status, hey, they're going to do their thing. But this is what caught my eye. Welcome to a Canadian libertarian discussion group administered by real libertarians. Please invite your friends from around the web. There will be no censorship here. If you find somebody annoying, please govern yourself and block the offender. Which, I mean, that's great. It means they at least promote freedom of speech. So that's great. But first of all, it's all about the political party, which to me is already disturbing. But then I go into, and underneath of that is, here was my comment, was, this page is obviously for political libertarians, because they had the big Libertarian Party of Canada banner as their cover photo. Genuine, in brackets, real libertarians recognize the inherent illegitimacy and oppressive nature of the state and refuse to play any part in its continuation. It is my opinion that the only acceptable exceptions are those who use the platform as a means to educate and inform others regarding the proper philosophy of liberty and or to rail against the existence of a mystical ruling class. True liberty will not come about by way of politicians limiting their illegitimate authority. It will come about when people stop imagining that politicians have any authority over them. And then I put, for those who are looking for a page for real libertarians in Canada, here it is. And I put a link to my Canadian Libertarian page, right? Anyways, I knew there was going to be some comments trying to refute what I had to say. But then we got this one. What I found kind of funny is, you're talking about anarchism, not libertarianism. Closely related, yet not the same thing. From Kyle McCormick is his name. So I put, my next comment was, actually, libertarian philosophical principles reject any notion of legitimate government. Just because political, in quotations, libertarians refuse to follow that logic or the logic of liberty fully does not mean there is any inherent flaw or exception within the philosophy. If you care to challenge my assertions, then you must be willing to reject logic as well, because it is something that can be proven quite easily. So I was going to get into the, the 4 questions, right? And we all know, I mean, once you start asking those questions, unless someone just wants to reject logic completely, it has to come down to there's no such thing as legitimate government, right? I can't delegate an authority I don't personally possess onto another human being. It's an impossibility. If I'm not magical, I can't give someone else magical powers just by snapping my fingers. Simple as that. Anyways, his comment after that is, nope, I can already tell that you're the type of person I have zero interest in having a discussion with. You believe what you believe, and you will use any means to defend your beliefs. Have fun. Yeah, I don't believe in any slavery. I don't believe in masters at all. Not even limited masters. Not even kind masters. Right? Not even masters that will limit how many times they'll whip me. Jesus Christ, Kyle. Holy fuck, man. See, this is why I no longer deal with anyone. If you believe in politics at all, I don't care how limited you want to do it. Yeah, do your thing. Whatever, right? But just don't do it with me, and don't respond to me. Just recognize and acknowledge, yeah, I don't believe in your mystical bullshit. Not even a limited amount of your mystical bullshit. Jeez. Big L libertarians are minarchists. Anarchists are anarchists. You can feel free to spread lies and speak untruths all you please. It does not make you correct. Big L. Like I said, but what did I say up there? Political libertarians, which are the ones that call themselves Big L libertarians, and I'm sure this Kyle would have known this, right? But are minarchists. Well, yeah, they reject logic. They don't follow their philosophy all the way through to the end. They pretend to believe in math, but they're saying 2 + 2 is not 4. No. We've decided it's 4 1/4. Therefore, it's 4 1/4. Yet Kyle, who's someone that's... Actually, let me go on to the next one, because I think he even thinks he's an anarchist, right? But he's defending that shit. Anyways, whatever. You can choose... This is my next comment. You can choose to remain as ignorant to facts as you wish, but they still exist. How about you back your rhetoric up by having a video debate with me? I would love to hear how you can square those round circles. I'm actually quite open to that, considering that we're both libertarians and I think both anarchists. I am sure we have plenty to talk about. So he's saying we're both libertarians and both anarchists. But yet he's saying libertarians, from what I get from him, he's saying libertarians are minarchists. Like I said, I don't know how... my God, no wonder people like this, they just confuse and confound anyone that tries to... this is someone that you would not want anything to do with if you're trying to learn or understand anything about the philosophical principles or understanding regarding genuine liberty and freedom. Because they just try to confuse you constantly. But no. If you're he's saying libertarians and anarchists are the same, but at the same time, like I say, I don't know how he can circle that logic, circle that square peg. Anyways, the next one down, his comment is, it depends, I suppose, on what you mean by libertarian philosophical principles, because some people believe incorrectly that the libertarian everything is solely based on the irrefutable NAP, and nothing could be further from the truth. My next comment was, hold up. You just said libertarians are not anarchists in one post, then said you were both an anarchist and a libertarian at the same time. Holy contradiction. Then I commented again. I only need to ask 4 questions to prove that big L libertarians are just status in disguise. Don't try to play both sides of the coin. Either you accept logic or you don't. Which is it? My bad. Politically, I am libertarian. I support Tim Moen for Parliament as a means to shrink the influence and cost of government. So once again, like I said, walking, talking contradictions, these people, man. But anyways, spiritually, I am an anarchist. But I still, spiritually, in my inner self, I don't believe in rulers or forced subjugation. But politically, I do. Limited, though. We'll only control, enforce, and use coercion minimally, and we'll reduce the amount of force and coercion that we'll use. Oh, look at how moral we are, right? Jesus Christ. Oh, man. And I believe political libertarianism can lead to, at least, minarchy. But politics ultimately matter much less than education and community building. I think you will agree. Which, yes, actually, that I would totally agree. Try to do a little backtracking there. I suppose you have to, right? Ask away. Oh, he was asking about the 4-question thing that I had posted earlier. So I commented. So you're someone who seeks a ruler and are also a believer in statism to a certain point. Make up your mind already. You can't have it both ways. My next comment. I will ask the questions in the video debate. That's the thing. When people do that stuff, like, yeah, I'm not going to spend... I mean, think about how much time a person would waste and how impersonal and how many things can be misconstrued and misrepresented in just text on a screen. No. In a video and audio debate or discussion, you can get around most of that stuff because you can see in people's eyes, their expressions, right? And the words that are coming out of the mouth. I personally would rather do it face to face, but because I can't, at the very least, I want to be able to look them in the eyes, whether it's through a screen or a camera, right? But and have audio. But I want to be able to call them out and be able to do that without and be able to see the expressions. I mean, that's how it's done properly, right? Words on a screen, like I say, it can be misconstrued and misrepresented so easily where you could spend hours upon hours just trying to clarify one word or one position. So, anyways, I will ask questions in the video debate. If you want to challenge me or my premises, at least have the balls to do it where you can't twist or distort what is being said. Yes, I can. Anarchists believe in their hearts. So like I said, that's the thing with these comments, because comments it's just so hard to even follow along in the comments, because you could put 2 or 3 comments in once, or you're replying to a comment that might be way further up. It's just not done properly in that manner. That's why I don't care for getting into like arguments or debates in text form, because once again, like I say, but yes, I can. Anarchists believe in their hearts that taxation is theft. Government is inherently coercive, and the state means to do them harm from the moment it is born. Of course, they are correct on all accounts. Right on. This is why I identify as an anarchist. But yet he's anarchists are incapable of meaningful political action. Anarchists have never once in the history of the human species produced meaningful political progression towards the freedom from the state. What a bullshit premise that is. There are lots of us that every day do a lot to make ourselves free from the state, right? But like I say, I don't know what kind of environment this guy grew up in or the people he surrounds himself with, but I can tell you, at least in my own personal subjective experience and the experience of people that I know, that yes, actually, people that don't delve into the politics, of using force and theft and coercion as a means to an end, yes, we've done a whole lot to help out humanity, because if we all did with the political route, we'd all be constantly, every day, be using force, mysticism, coercion, and theft as a means to an end. Most of us don't do that in the majority of our lives, but anyways, or all of our lives. Some of us do it without using the state in any way, shape, form. But yeah, we're Yeah. I'm not interesting. I'm not interesting in meaningless ideological purism. Well, he meant I'm not interested in meaningless ideological purism. So he's not interested in someone that's willing to walk the walk and talk the, not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. No. He's like, well, yeah, but don't necessarily talk the talk. Well, you don't have to walk the walk. You can skirt around it, hide in caves or I don't know, whatever. The fuck. Use force minimally to get what you want, right? I have made up my mind. I am an anarchist who means to actually accomplish the political goal of anarchy. The end of the state. That's not a political goal. That's a human goal. He's so stuck in the paradigm of fucking statism, he doesn't even understand the bullshit that he espouses, apparently. I kind of feel a little bit bad for him, to be honest with you. He's still got, but I mean, I've known this guy, I think actually, I can't say with 100% certainty, but I think I might have even been friends with this Kyle McCormick. The name sounds very familiar, and I probably unfriended him quite a while ago, because it seems like it would have been quite a while ago. As with most other political libertarians in Canada, I was friends with a lot of them until I realized that they were all political libertarians. I thought they were real libertarians until I realized, oh yeah, these aren't the people I want to surround myself with. And he's probably bitter because, as with most of them, yeah, they don't like me anymore because I don't want to be friends with people that like to use force, violence, and coercion and theft against people, even minimally. Not trying to twist or distort anything. Your aggressive language suggests you're interested in preaching, not conversing. I would like to have a discussion. I am not looking to be angrily preached by someone who does not know me at all, who knows nothing about my belief, and who is driven to be proven right above all else. That is what your language suggests. Well, yeah, if I say 2 + 2 is 4, of course that is what I want to be proven. That has to be the end goal. Holy fuck. No, I'm not going to meet you halfway and say it's 4 1/4. You could say it's 4 1/2, and I'll say it's 4 1/4, and we could compromise that way. But really, has anyone learned anything? No, they just learned, once again, improper information. They've been improperly educated. That's the difference between me and you, Kyle. I want to properly educate people. You want to keep playing the mystical game. You want to keep playing the political game and keep confusing and confounding anyone that pays attention to this stuff. Fuck no. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. Oh, I had to open up a whole bunch more. Okay, so, and his next comment was, you can address the points I made from this point forward and abandon your attempts to criticize my character. Character. I wasn't trying to criticize your character. I'm pointing out your hypocrisy, but whatever. So my comment is, so you actually do understand the philosophy of liberty. Then what the hell is the point of this nonsense? Go harass the minarchists who still have contradictions rolling around in their mind. They are not libertarians. They are opportunists who seek to use the term to their advantage. My next comment. You wrongfully interpreted what being a libertarian is. I merely corrected you. Everything else seems to be moot point at this stage. Kyle's comment. The point is this, thanks for asking in brackets, people like yourself who mean to demean the efforts of political libertarians are the enemies of freedom. I'm the enemy of freedom, apparently, right? Because I don't want to use force, mysticism, theft, or coercion. But I'm the enemy of freedom. See what I mean? This is the fucking kind of mind that political libertarians have, which is why you fuck these cocksuckers, man. I don't want nothing to do with any of these people because, once again, he lost the argument. He lost and even in this stupid online bullshit, which I think I'd be much better at presenting what I have to say in video form. But even here, he has lost. As soon as you start down that road where he's suggesting that I'm the enemy of freedom, yeah, I mean, right there, end game. Boom, you lose. You may not realize it, but you absolutely are conducting your behavior in a fashion that hurts the larger global freedom movement. Your statement, this page is obviously for political libertarians, genuine, real libertarians recognize the inherent illegitimacy, which he had in quotations, which is true. It's 100% true. But because I'm pointing that out, I am an enemy to freedom. Shh, hey, don't burst the bubble. Shh, don't tell everyone that there's no such thing as legitimate statism, right? We need to keep it minarchist so they believe our, so when we stand on the pulpit, they'll at least believe what we say. That's what he's saying. That's exactly what he's saying. Is, the emperor has no clothes, or, hey, don't rip my, what's that thing the Catholic priests have, right? Don't rip that off. They won't recognize me as being their legitimate, central authority, or propagandists for the central authority. Like, what the hell, man? Blah, blah, fucking blah. That's what he says in his comment. This is absolutely worthless, meaningless activity that benefits no one. Least of all, the larger anarcho-libertarian movement. Anarcho-libertarian. First of all, if you're an anarcho, which, no rulers, libertarian movement, in the political sense, what the fuck could that possibly ever mean? The larger anarcho-libertarian movement. That's rejecting statism completely. So, like I said, holy shit. I'm gonna screen capture a lot of these. I'm gonna screen capture them all, actually, so that I can keep it for future reference, just in case. Instead of spouting off demeaning rhetoric that accomplishes literally nothing, try convincing libertarians to make the leap from minarchism to anarchism. Teach them about free markets. Teach, don't preach. But yet he's telling them to stay within that paradigm. Well, how about you just shut your fucking mouth, and I would be doing that, and then if you actually went along and started wow, which is actually what I do every day, Kyle. Every day. That's what I do. But I got people like you that keep fighting me. Status and limited status like you that keep fighting me out every step of the way. You wrongfully interpreted what being a minarchist is. I merely corrected you. Oh, no, this is what I put. He's quoting me, but he should have put quotations. Everything else seems to be moot. Now, this is him. I disagree with your aggressive tactics, which helps no one and harms our entire movement. I will not go harass the minarchists who still have contradiction rolling in their mind. I will help them become my brethren in freedom. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. If you can get your masters to be your friends, those that want to be your masters, if you can get to be your friends, I guess, yeah, man, might work out good for you, Kyle. I don't know. Can't say one way or the other. But if that's your endeavor, go to it. This would be a more worthy application of your time as well. Anyways, next comment, mine. And like I say, this would have been in reference to one of the comments up further up. Yeah, sure. I'm the one that is an enemy to freedom, not the political hacks who claim to be something they are not. Keep believing whatever bullshit you wish to feed yourself, Kyle. I am not wasting any more time playing these little games with you. Grow up and put up by actually debating me, or just go play in your delusional world. I have better things to do. Wow, haha, real mature. Bye, Felicia, whatever that means. And then the last comment. Like all political libertarians, you're a walking, talking contradiction, and this little interaction just proved that. Thanks. So, like I say, holy shit. And I got 23 and a half minutes into this video just to deal with this. I don't even know why, but I guess it's important for me to point out these hypocrisies, these blatant hypocrisies that are espoused constantly by people like this Kyle character. All they do is keep the masses confused and confounded and indoctrinated into the religion of statism. They don't realize it because they think, oh, but we're talking the good talk, but they're not walking the good walk. And in reality, people want to see people leading by example, right? People don't like when, especially because politicians, they're all about speaking out both sides of mouth, and Kyle's doing the same thing. So who has any respect for people that talk out both sides of the mouth? I don't, and anyone else that's disenfranchised with this kind of system, with this kind of collective mysticism, they don't either. So don't pander to them. Don't play games. Tell them the truth. They'll respect and admire you greatly for it. Skinny Libertarian. I love liberty.